Today we've got the flight review on the Freewing A-4 Skyhawk 80mm high performance. This has got the 1920 kV 9-blade end runner, so that's the latest motor you can get in the A-4. It's not a whole lot of scale on this bird, however that does hold down on the weight, especially with the smaller wings, lowers the wing loading down so it gives it better stability too. Just taking that stuff off, including the navigation lights, you know, it's going to make the plane much lighter and should perform better because of that. Let's take a look at the equipment that we have on this one. You'll notice that when I did the maiden flight, I talked about how the battery felt like it needed to be moved forward a little bit. And after flying it, I've came to the conclusion that the book at 195 millimeters seems too far aft. So I actually did 185 millimeters from the same reference point. And I went with a lighter battery. I had a 100-gram heavier battery in here with the CNHLs. We've got an Admiral 6S 4000 Pro, which weighs around 700 grams. So that took additional weight off the wings. You'll notice where I've got it positioned. It's right behind the cutout on the battery tray. We've got a Spectrum AR620, which is our sport receiver that doesn't have a gyro. And you'll notice how you can mount it up on that shelf right here, and it gives you a clean installation. It's right next to the junction board, so you just run the small leads over to it, and it's a nice, simple install. We're also rocking the 5280 RC Afterburner. We'll have that plugged up, and we have the SkyRC performance analyzer to give us our top speed on this run. The Afterburner did show up pretty good today in the light, even though it's a real sunny day. I'll have some bonus footage in this review, so that way if you want to see the Afterburner in low light and see how well it shows up there, which is really where these stand out at. And I was actually surprised how good it showed up even in the bright sunlight. Go ahead and check out that bonus footage as well. So let's go ahead and get the A4 up in the sky and put it through your paces, and we'll do a post-flight review, and I'll give you my final thoughts on this A4. Taking off. Pull back just a little bit.
Gear up.
Take out.
Time remaining 3 minutes.
We'll do a split S right off the bat. A little Cuban 8, half Cuban. Check comes right over the runway. Okay, Cuban. We'll come around to the runway and do a slow pass. Take that Afterburner, and we'll go into a loop. Kind of a tight loop, so it has really good vertical right there. A little bit slower this one. Do a roll rate on mid rate. Take it inverted for a second. Back over. Gear check. Green, let's go. Slow it down a little bit.
Landing flaps.
Put in our flaps. landing. It's coming out a little bit. Slow down. There we go. Taxi it on back. And clean it up, put the flaps up. Now we've got our flight completed. Let's take a look at the few parameters. One, let's look at the battery. We had a 3-minute and 10-second useful throttle time, and we came down at 10 seconds. So we had 3 minutes of on the throttle, and that equaled to about a 4-minute flight time. It was like 350 to 4 minutes total flight time. That equals to 41% total, which is 384, 382 a cell. So we easily could have flew on the throttle for about 3.5 minutes, 3 minutes and 15 seconds, somewhere in there. In the bottom right-hand corner, I'm going to post our top speed on this bird going through maneuvers was 115 miles per hour. That gives you some mixed flying and just some general maneuvers. That way you'll know what to expect out of your bird. We could have put it in a dive and got up to about 130, but I want to get a natural reading on our top speed. So the standouts on this bird, especially with the 4000, lightweight on the wings, aggressive roll rate if you turn them up. It has split flaps, so it's got a nice approach and stability coming in. Power, plenty through the sky. This motor's been in some of the other birds on the channel. Great takeoff and performance there. And it's got trailing link suspension, so you can run it on grass ops or you can run it on pavement that we got here. The only really downfalls I would say to this plane, if any, it's got more narrow landing gears than some of the other planes, so it may be a little twitchy on takeoff or if you're taxiing and you're turning around. So you want to be conscious of not being too aggressive on your steering because it will have a tendency to tip over, but it's not bad. So I'm not trying to tell you it's exaggerated or anything like that. You just want to be, especially if you're coming from sport planes, a little bit more careful when you're on your ground handling or taking off. Doesn't have any lights on it and it's gray, so flying in the evening, unless you're just wanting to see your afterburner or that's when you got to fly, the visibility is a little tough in the evening. So this is kind of a plane that you want to fly with plenty of light outside. If you appreciate the flight review we did today, go ahead and push like on the video. If you want to see future videos of flight reviews, go ahead and subscribe to the channel while you're here. I appreciate y'all watching, and we'll see you on the next one.